You will see a Biennale that is not where every national pavilion is not telling a different story, but where there is an effort to coordinate and to have a cumulative story about what it was like to live and to produce architecture in the last 100 years. In the Arsenale you will have a kind of representation in movies and architecture of the country of Italy, systematically in a scan that starts in the south and ends in the north. And in elements of architecture you have a kind of focus not on architecture as a composition, but on the single elements that comprise every architecture: floor, door, wall and ceiling, that every architecture, whether he wants to or not, has to use, and which every inhabitant knows by heart. So that last one is an effort to find an encounter between the professional and the public. I did not only look at the present. I think that in almost every room there is also an indication of future developments. You see in the fireplace that there is a kind of thermostat that kind of is interactive. You see in the floor that there is a particular floor that kind of digitally reads how it is occupied or how it is used. So there is a very clear hint that the digital is, as I said, infiltrating or bonding or with architecture elements. So that is very clear. So one thing that you can take with you is really that imminent direction. And as you take it with you, you can kind of wonder whether that is a particularly desirable condition or not. Personally, I think if you see the film that we start the Central Pavilion with, it is showing that kind of if you look at any element in isolation, it's a collection of film clips. That if you look at any element in isolation, it can become really frightening or really funny or really bizarre. So in that sense, I don't worry that there's also kind of emotional register, because I find kind of many of the rooms, yes, they're intellectual, but they also clearly have an emotional effect. And that is certainly how we try to do the room. There's very bad understanding and very easy criticism of globalization as kind of promoting homogeneity, and that is what I hope that cumulatively all the national pavilions together show. Actually, globalization also generates an explosion of differences. One of the surprises, I think collectively, that we can have, that the history of the narrative of architecture is much more rich than we currently think. In the Arsenale there are architects presenting their vision, but it's not about themselves. So it's always about an architecture situation and a particular building or a particular region. So in that sense, we've been able to focus for one Biennale away from the work or the masterpiece or the work of genius. Italy is the country I feel most affinity with, basically of all the countries, and I think I'm not alone. I think it's a kind of universally loved country, and therefore I have a deep involvement in Italy. I work in Italy, I work with Italians, I produce with Italians, I know many of the kind of best features this country has. I've spent a lot of time in the country also as a kind of private person. So it's a country that goes to my heart in a really deep way. And therefore I see the kind of current struggle is really meaningful to myself, and I'm involved in it and engaged with it as a kind of human being. So for all those reasons, it was not difficult to take Italy, but I think it's also a fantastic symbol of a kind of a pervasive state of incompetence to make the best of our gifts that currently is a global condition. So for those reasons, we took Italy.